now the Alliance once again have been able to hold on to their lead, and for the Horde, they need what?
Ramon cam straight up. The left side of your screen is just dedicated to Ramon the entire time we are in the Venox's Finest games. The left side of your screen, that's Ramon's side. That anytime Ramon is alive, we're going to be watching him on the left side here, and we're going to be seeing the rest of the game unfold, on the right side. Honestly, I would want the left side to be like 75% of the screen. I feel like as long as we're following Ramon, I feel
so far. They've been able to just do a great job with their rotations, pick up the early team fights, hold on to those 3 bases, and it's been I'd say it's a very consistent performance from them, honestly, and I think this team is looking really solid.
Yeah, Venox's Finest. I couldn't say it better than myself. Entire team really been putting a great effort here in just defending everything, rotating their players in time, and making good decisions as well. And of course, that enables Ramon to get his own cam and to get 4 bases assaulted in the lower bracket finals. Absolutely legendary performance. And I gotta say, the first time we saw Krotos on that Druid, I wasn't sold. Let's be honest. I gave him a little bit of criticism. I said, you're a druid. You could be another hunter. But he's growing on me. He is growing on me. I feel like Macunia is another player. We saw him, throughout the qualifier. We saw him as well in the Warsong tournament, having a good performance as well. And here in AB, though, it's been a completely different game for him. That 2v1 he did at the start, where he was, vipering the mage and crowd controlling him on the evocation and crowd controlling the warrior. And that one time, even he trapped the warrior and he got the rocket helmet onto the mage. He's able to almost cap it in a 2v1 like that, but the trap broke early. He just kited and stalled long enough, really, for his team to get a massive lead in the start. So Macunia, definitely a prime hunter here for Venox's Finest.
I would say Venox's Finest, they have a lot of really interesting players on their team that we've been able to follow. So super fun team. And this, of course, does bring us to the grand finals of the European qualifiers. These 2 teams have made it into the finals. Of course, the top 6 teams of this tournament did. So we'll be seeing more from all of these teams in a few short weekends from now. But we still have a score to settle. It's going to be Apes going up against Venox's Finest. 2 Alliance teams. We'll have to see who pulls out ahead. And that is going to be after a very quick break. Do not go anywhere. You do not want to miss this. I saw that. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the classic Fall Conquest, and we found ourselves at the grand finals of the qualifier stages. So this is not the overall grand finals, but for the qualifiers for Europe, we are going to determine who has the most momentum and kind of the best seat in the house moving forward into the finals in just a few short weekends. And this is going to be a really good game. I'm your host, Enrique, joined by the lovely Zico. And Zico, I have to just ask you right away, what are your predictions for this one?
My mind is telling me apes, but my body is telling me Ramon.
There's just so many names. There's so many names on Venox's Finest that you really want to cheer for, right? Like, see Macunia on the Hunter. You know, they're either bringing in Druid. Yeah, Crit, the bald gnome mage. He's doing a great job too. Just a lot of household names that we've been able to come to love over the weekend. But Apes, I mean, let's just be honest. This team, I think a lot of the teams would have considered them the favorites going into this tournament. And so far, I mean, they're proving that they are kind of dominant in the upper finals. It was one of the most dominant games we did see. And it just seems like for Apes, they're just getting better and better as the tournament gets going, getting more and more comfortable with these games. And now that they're in the grand finals against Venox's Finest, we'll see. Because the thing that scares me the most about this game, let's be honest, we've been seeing Ramon have a lot of fun on that rogue, going in, getting ninja caps, and really causing like a disturbance in the enemy backline. But against a team like Apes with 4 hunters, and all 4 of those hunters are just kings at defending, like, do we really expect him to get too much done on that rogue?
I don't know, man. You know, he has his own camera, so hopefully he's going to be able to deliver on that. But like you said, man, some of those Apes hunters have been doing such a good job on that defense. They're kind of, I don't know. It's like if Ramon had to cap a base where Macunia is defending. I don't know what happens when that situation happens. So I guess we're gonna find that out. But if there's 4 Macunias on the Apes team, you can definitely see how that might be a little bit problematic for the young rogue. Definitely. And we did see the bracket there as well, and we are actually taking a look at the lower bracket now. So we did look a little bit at the upper bracket earlier, just kind of taking a look at the route that we had to get here. It's been an open bracket tournament. I think we had like 20 teams sign up, which is like 300 players, which is crazy. And of course, you can see here in that lower bracket, it's been all about Venox's Finest, just bulldozering through that upper portion of that lower bracket. And then if you look at the bottom side, it's been all about the Scooter, taking down a lot of that competition, ultimately being bested by Venox's Finest. And now Venox's Finest find themselves qualified for the championship. I mean, all of these guys, the Scooter, the Pressburg Pumper Blasters, Last Sleep, Venox's Finest, as well as Apes, of course, they're all going to be up there in that qualified. We're going to be seeing them in 2 weeks from now when we're qualified, when we're doing the championship round. But for Venox's Finest, an extra important thing is that they are in the finals, which is going to grant them a bye when we do get to that championship stage. So they're going to be starting out in the best seats in the house, and the same thing is going to be happening for Apes, of course.
Yeah, no question about it. And we do have the game. I believe we're just going to be jumping in here relatively soon. I'm curious to see which one of these 2 Alliance teams did get the Horde side, as I think for the most part we've seen both of them. And it actually is. It's going to be Apes representing the Horde side of the map. And I'm kind of curious to see how this alters their decision-making, their defense, their offense, what they're going to do at the beginning in terms of Lumber Mill, in terms of Gold Mine. This is going to be one really exciting game. Venox's Finest has been on fire today, tearing through the lower bracket, but at the same time, I mean, Apes, they've been absolutely dominant in that upper bracket. This is grand finals. This is a best of 1. So whoever wins this game right in front of your eyes right now, is going to take first place, moving into the championship round. And I think having that momentum is going to be big. I mean, if you're the team that won this, you're going to be feeling pretty good going up against the same teams again.
And I mean, one interesting thing here is that both of these teams are technically undefeated in this tournament. I mean, Venoxes are coming from the lower bracket, but like we mentioned, they were in a pretty convincing victory against one of the teams in the upper bracket. But Somebody used some banned consumables, so they ended up losing that on a technicality, and that's why they were in the lower bracket to begin with. So technically, I mean, the Noxes, they did lose a game according to the rules, of course, but I mean, they haven't been actually bested, in terms of resources. So we're going to see a 2v1 situation here. Ramon gets the flash bomb there onto the pet. They get the beautiful rocket helmet there onto Rage JK. They get the blind there on top as well in case it breaks early. Very nice opener here for the Shadow Priest Rogue, getting a beautiful kill here potentially as well onto this Hunter, and they're going to be able to hold on to that base before the reinforcements are coming. I do believe there is one more Horde player here moving in, and it is going to be a 2v2 here. We got Parla and Rage JK, Hunter Priest going up against Shadow Priest Rogue. Parla now getting the rocket helmet here onto the Priest, gets the fear onto the Rogue. Parla now finds himself in a kidney shot, but Ramon gets concussive shot in that kidney, gets a blind onto Parla here. Parla stone forms out of that one, and Parla is going to get silenced here. The Shadow Priest going for some heals onto Ramon. Big damage coming out. There's the blackout proc, and Ramon with a fat eviscerate takes down the Hunter, but he has a soul stone. He's going to come back into the fight here. Parla trying to dish out big heals. Can he get it? Big heals. Look at that. And now Ramon all of a sudden finding himself in a troublesome situation, but a beautiful double fear coming out. Ramon or Parla. Who's going to fall first? Parla goes to the Psychic Scream. Ramon trinkets out. He gets the kidney. Skosas trying to heal him back up, but Parla, he survives the desperate prayer, and now the multi-shots are flying in. The Alliance have taken the mine, and Ramon, he's going to get his Soul Stone, and now Parla is so low, going for the leaf, and Rage JK. This is no longer a 2v2. It is going to go in favor of Venox's Finest, but that was amazing to watch. I love these skirmishes in the start, and we have one on Lumbermill as well, man.
Yeah, Lumbermill has been very back and forth. Crota's been holding on by a thread on that Restoration Druid. His partner did go down, and Nim came in the nick of time to try to back him up just a little bit, but Paul Thiesia might be able to actually cap this. Mind Control does come in, but unfortunately it does break, and that does mean that Nims is going to be able to fight on this warrior. He gets Mind Controlled once again. Doesn't want to take the walk. He doesn't want to walk the plank. And we'll see. It looks like this Mind Control should be enough for them to get Lumbermill, and Apes finds himself in a situation where they get the Lumbermill, but at the same time, Venox's Finest, they managed to pick up the mine, and now this team fight is actually gone in favor. Do my eyes deceive me? Did the Alliance actually pick up the middle as well? And Venox's Finest, they have 3 nodes. They have the 3 connected nodes. What is Apes going to do?
I'm not sure, but Nims is trying to hold on here. He's trying to get that Lumbermill, but it is going to be going in favor of Apes. But, I mean, they're already in a 3... This is awful for Apes. They're going to have to regroup and push. Their comp doesn't have a single stealther. They can't go for any ninja plays. They have to group up, buff up, drink up, and go for a big team fight, and they have to pick somewhere to do it. They're regrouping here in farm right now, having a bit of a pumpkin carving party. Ben, do you remember last year when we carved pumpkins together? That was kind of fun.
That was really fun. That was really fun, yeah.
Yeah, we should do it again next year, hopefully. Venox is here. I mean, they're sitting pretty in their bases, and Apes right now, they're carving those pumpkins at farm, getting ready for the next push. Where do you think they're going to go, Ben?
Well, I mean, it looks like they're grouping up. It sounds like, well, it kind of looks like they're splitting up their forces. You can see kind of a U shape right now. Half are going left, more than, actually, a little less than half are going left, more than half are going right. And it looks like they want to hit multiple bases. It looks like Stables is kind of wide open right now, 2 defenders, but rotation's coming back in. And it looks like this isn't looking too bad. I feel like Venox's Finest, they've kind of read this situation. Maybe need to allocate a little bit more in terms of defense at mine, as you know, Apes is just so good in these team fights. But at the same time, Venox's Finest, they've been doing a really good job in these team fights all day long, and this is just making it to be a very explosive match. I can't believe we're finding ourselves in this situation where Venox's Finest is actually ahead in this one.
Yeah, Macunia is doing a good job here, spinning the flag, but there are so many members of Apes here. Vuike sheeps up Nims, and he is moving in Midge. Can he get the base?
He's going to get it.
Krotos is nice nade here coming down from downtown. We got the backup. The cavalry has arrived. Macunia Matata coming in here on the Hunter, dropping the nades, dropping the arrows, and he is going to keep his team here in the fight. They're going to keep the base here barely. And is Nims still in a polymer? I swear he's been polished for like a minute there. Poor Nims, man. Just trying to play his character here, but that is the warrior experience in Classic. you don't get to touch your teammates, or sorry, you don't get to touch the enemy very often, but when you do, you deal devastation on that warrior. And now we can see it here. Nims finally trying to reach a mage. That's probably not going to happen here. Nims, he's going to go ahead and go after Zolpi. No, he's going to still keep chasing the mage, gets a hamstring onto him, and now Apes are disengaging from the situation. They're realizing this push not going to be netting them anything, and now it's looking like they're trying to reconvene here and attack from every angle on Blacksmith. You can see everybody swarming towards Blacksmith. Let's see if they can take it. If Apes can get Blacksmith, that is the most important objective. I think Blacksmith, if they can get it, they're going to have the three best nodes in the house, essentially. And for, the Noxus Finest, if they can trade that GM for LM, that's something that would be good for them if they could do.
Yeah, Valkyrie doing a good job defending with Farvaldo. And so far, Noxus Finest, they've been able to hold off the attackers so far, keep them at bay, send them back to the farm. But once again, we have Apes grouping up and going to attack the mine. And I'm curious to see if they decide to split anyone off to stables once again. It doesn't really look like it. Really, really committing to this mine. So wanting to win this team fight. And we actually see Ramon on the Ramon cam trying to pressure down. But this is what I kind of thought was going to happen. Ramon, I don't know if he's going to be able to take this one, especially against these two members of Apes. Slicey doing a great job on that Hunter, and Ramon will get dropped, but that does mean he gets sent back to the graveyard to help defend on the Alliance side of things. And the mine right now looking really, really contested, but just these constant reinforcements coming in from Venox's Finest, looking really good for them.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we were worrying about a little bit. Venox's Finest, they've been a team that hasn't really let go of that 3-2 cap advantage once they hold the right bases, which in my opinion, right now, I mean, it's not the ideal situation, but it's not, like you're holding farm and stables at the same time. So for Venox's, this is a completely manageable situation. And if they can do what they've been able to do the entire tournament, which is just keep these three bases, all of a sudden, they can find themselves as the team against most odds here, I would say, to beat Apes here in the grand finals. But of course, Apes, they still have a lot of time to work with. They're extremely coordinated with their pushes. And I think if a single one of these pushes actually leads to a cap, I don't see Apes being the team that would, let a cap go, let a flag go anywhere. They're just communication is just immaculate. And now here we go. Can they get it done? Multi-shots are flying in. They're spinning the flag, but the last member has fallen. Can he go to the graveyard now and stop the reinforcement? There we go. Monkey News charging in. Hugas jumps down from the roof, gets the nade. Crit rotating back from stables. You're going to see here Nidge going for the flag cap. Can he get it? Bakuri gets one shot at Skosas in the back line on that priest. He throws in a big nade from downtown, but Kalsi does actually get the base there for Apes. So Apes with a nice push, and this is a big difference between Apes and a lot of the other teams we watch. As soon as there was one player left, everybody started swarming the graveyard, forcing the people that res, coming in one by one, and just getting destroyed by that meat grinder that is Monkey Noose.
Yeah, I mean, these warriors on Apes, quite mighty indeed. There's no question about that. And now on the Horde side, Apes, they have not only the farm, lumber mill, they also have mine, and their points are going to start collecting really, really quickly, and they could come back in this game. The Noxus Finest are going to have to figure out an offense. It looks like they have most of their team right now between farm and lumber mill. Not really sure where they want to go. Actually, just cutting off the reinforcements. Lumber mill going to be a very interesting fight right now. What's going on there? Because, I mean, if Lumbermill is going in favor, it doesn't look like it is. We can see Venoxus Finest actually just jumping off the cliff. So that kind of tells you how this one is going. Farvald right now going to be taking damage, getting a little bit of reinforcements right now. But now, finally, Apes, they claim their third base. And they have a little bit of catch-up to do, about 210 points behind. But slowly and surely, those should start to accumulate. But holding on to these three bases, as we know, is not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, and for Apes, I think this is exactly the kind of situation they want to be in. Now they got full control, they got their bases, and this is where Venoxes are going to be tested a little bit. We know that their defense is good, but they need to be able to execute their pushes as well as Apes just did. Can they do that? So far, they've just been relying on, basically two players on their team to really get their offense going. And it's been working out very nicely for them, but I am not sure here. Ramon gets the mind control cap onto Slicey, and immediately QK Midge, they're rotating. Krotos, go! Let's root him! Go! Ramon on the Ramon and Krotos is there with the root, and Ramon gets the farm, blends up Mythos, and now Krotos and Ramon are in a beautiful situation. Slicey scatter shots Mythos before that mind control ends. Parla trying to immediately go for the cap. Ramon gets the nade. Ramon cam is active, ladies and gentlemen. Krotos is there, and the rest of Venox's finest are swarming the pumpkin fields, Haruki.
Yeah, they definitely are, but this is a dangerous situation to be in. Ramon, if he falls, big heals coming in from Krotos, and that will keep him alive. But just keep in mind, with no spirit res, this is a very dangerous fight. Either one of these sides going down, it is devastating to lose a team member. Pitspat's getting extremely low. Med's just chasing him down. Can he actually get him? Pitspat's barely holding on by a thread. He does not want to go down. He lands the nade. Still just cutting away. Far throwing in some heals, might be able to actually keep him alive. Can he do it? He gets a big holy light, and that will top him off. And now, this is such an interesting game. Venox's finest, Ramon, I didn't think he was going to be able to do it, but he does. He gets it. He gets the pumpkin patch back for the favorite of the Alliance, and that means that Halloween isn't canceled for them this year. And it does mean that they will be able to maintain their lead. Because, I mean, if you look, they still have almost a 200-point lead here, Zico.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good so far. This is definitely what you want to see out of the finals. Very back and forth. One team going for those stealth caps, the other team going for more of a team fight execution strategy here. And both of these teams very evenly matched here. But, I mean, you can tell Apes, they're already doing exactly what they should be doing. They're going for that stable skill. They're going to send a couple of members over there. And then all of those guys that just rezzed behind the farm are going to go for the farm. And Ramon, well, Monkey News knows this guy, he has to be killed here. This is a very important member to take down. He's actually taking down Crit as well on the mage. Crit blinks into the wall there, and all of a sudden, I think Crit and Ramon might get 2v1 here by Monkey News, but there's more apes swarming the roads here. Crit, one more auto attack should potentially take him down. Monkey News making his way there, but Crit actually escaping the bald gnome. Nope, there it is. Midge just throws a holy shock in his face. And once again here, we can see Zolp now making his way to that stables. Farm looking completely safe, though, for now. And I wonder, what is Ramon going to do when he reses here? I have a feeling he's going to go to Lumber Mill or Gold Mine, and that could be even more devastation here for Apes being so slippery on that road.
Okay, right now we have the Apes going towards stables, trying to really cause some pressure on the Alliance side of the map, and we'll see if they can do it. Right now, also one attacker on the side of Apes, going to be looking to go to farm, but he gets dropped, unfortunately for him. And now the biggest contention on the map is, of course, going to be stables. This fight is going to add up to a lot. We'll have to see what goes on if Apes is going to be able to continue this push. It looks like they are getting wiped up quite easily here, and Venox's Finest have been able to hold on, and we'll see. The one problem for Venox's Finest is if they dedicate too much of their force over to the stable side, and they don't rotate back to the farm side, it's going to be really difficult for them to have the numbers to actually defend. So making sure you're kind of pre-positioning on this map in this situation is really important.
I think with the fact that you have 3 bases in a straight line here for Venox's Finest, you need to stack more members on Blacksmith. You have too many on stables, and you can see that there's a swarm of monkeys trying to get there to that farm, trying to eat those pumpkins. I'm not sure if that is actually something that monkeys do eat, but I do feel like in this context it's going to work out. Krotos gets charged, he gets clothesline, Mythos is there. Krotos needs to try to stay alive. Valkyrie, he's there, he's trying to disrupt the situation a little bit here. Crit is there, blinks in, big fat Nova. Here comes the ZF and Apes. They've been such a good team at splitting up, but now Crit is there in their face with a blessing of protection, spamming Arcane Explosions, dealing devastation. There's the Cold Snap, there's the Renova, there's the Cone of Cold, takes down 2 players and more counting here. Big plays here coming out of the mage here. The bald gnome looking as beautiful as ever, but now he is going to be forced into the ice cube, and they're going to need to try to buy some time here. Skosas taking a lot of damage. This team fight, despite that beautiful engage by the mage, is looking like it's going to go in favor of Apes. There are so many more Horde members here on this side of the map, but they have the graveyard here on farm, and they are are rezzing. The next wave of Alliance just spawned. They need to try to take down some of these healers. Parla is going to go down here. If they can get him down, he will miss the res. But if Parla can stay alive, it will be big for the rest of the fight. Parla falls. He's going to be sent to the graveyard. And those guys that just rezzed behind farm, they're immediately just ignoring the farm and moving to the next objective, presumably going to be stables.
Yeah, let's see how stables can hold on. This is going to be a constant assault here, as both the lumber mill and the mine are taken by apes right now. They're going to be able to reinforce and basically assault these bases. The one nice thing for Venox's Finest that they have going for them is they have that central node. They have the blacksmith, so at least they can rotate from that point, and their defense is looking good. And I mean, Zico, look at this. 1,270 points. Venox's Finest, they are pulling out ahead in this one. And if they can hold on to this base for just a little bit longer, I mean, Apes is going to be in a really difficult situation where they actually have to take 4 bases to come back in this game. And that is a tall order. Venox's Finest, I don't think many players would have expected to see them in this situation, but they have been putting on a show all day. And if they could take down Apes, that would be quite a statement.
Yeah, I mean, Apes has been the favorite to win this tournament, going undefeated in the upper bracket, dominating several teams with 4 caps, with 5 caps, and now they find themselves in a situation where they have a team fighting comp, but there's no team fights. Everyone is spread around the map, and they need to try to force something to happen. They have no stealthers. They have no element of surprise. All of their moves are telegraphed, and you can tell Nims, he is very sick of being a sheep. I feel like every time I look at this guy, he is up. Don't tell me QK is going to sheep him again. Oh my God, he's getting sheeped, isn't he? Yeah, he is.
Nope.
Okay,
he got spell locked, actually.
Okay. Beautiful stuff here. Brugrim not going to allow Nims to be out of the game for much longer. I had to back him up a little bit at least. But now there's a big push here happening on Stables, Ben.
Yeah, big push at Stables. Big attempt here by Apes, and actually like what QK was doing is kind of just trying to cut off the reinforcements from farm. So the people rotating from farms to stables, he's kind of just sitting on the road, snaring them up, putting them in polymorphs, trying to annoy them as much as possible. Kelsey right now looking like he wants to try to go for the pumpkin patch, wants to go for farm, but doesn't seem like he's going to be able to just yet. And still, Venox's Finest, they're holding on. Their defense is looking good. They've got numbers in the right position at the right time. But I would say farm is looking a little bit scary. Nims might get dropped, getting low. If they could take down Kelsey, it would be big. Can they actually get him down? He gets crit big time by Valkyrie, and it looks like Ramon and Valkyrie will be able to take him down. And for them, hopefully, be able to hold on to this base. But it's looking a little bit dicey. Ramon takes a huge hit and gets dropped. Valkyrie is going to have to make sure he's spinning this flag, buying enough time for reinforcements. A few reinforcements on the Alliance side are going to be making it towards the farm. Farvold finally getting there. And now it's looking good, but at the same time, there's a big fight happening at Stables. Multiple pressure points, multiple assaults coming in from Apes is really the only way they can come back in this game. One thing I'm scared about right now is actually at Blacksmith. There's going to be a 1v1 situation. Actually, 2 versus 1 situation. Once again, Venox's Finest, they get their defenders, the right place, the right time, and they are just securing more and more of a lead.
There's so much action everywhere on the map. We need a 3rd camera. Actually, we need a 4th camera just so we can have a Ramon cam as well. I want to see what's happening on Blacksmith. I want to see what's happening here on Farm. And I want to see what's happening on Stables. And I want to see every single step, every single breath Ramon takes. I want to see it all. And right now, he is looking like the man of the match here. He's gotten his team the farm. And they have been doing a phenomenal job here, keeping it for this long. It's been so hard, especially against a team of the caliber of Apes, to defend for this long. 2 bases that are so far away from each other, but they have been able to do it. And I think Ramon is actually down there at the gold mine trying to make something happen. Lumber Mill was completely undefended. So Ramon went for the 50-50 there, checking if Goldmine or LM, which one of them is undefended. He got the wrong one, unfortunately for him, but still looking for ways to even increase that lead. And I'm worrying for Apes here. I think they're going to need 4-1 at this point to even have a chance to come back in this game. A 500-point differential soon here between Venox's Finest and Apes. And you can see this fight is still ongoing here in Farm. Was that player hiding in one of the pumpkins? Yeah, you can see Jazeera over there. He's literally sitting in one of those those pumpkins, drinking. All these players, so clever, trying to take, look at him, trying to take cover in these pumpkins, in the bushes, drinking in plain sight. And sometimes, the smartest place to hide is to do it in plain sight. Now he's going to be recharged, feeling fresh, mounted up on that mage, and ready to go here, man.
This is just so back and forth. Valkyrie is another one. Following Valkyrie in this match, there's just so many players to love on Vinox's Finest. Him on this warrior, this female human, has just been just causing havoc, honestly, in the enemy lines. I'm curious to see what his score is going to be at the end of this game. Not that it matters that much, but I feel like he's really been a heavy hitter for the squad. Will get dropped in apes. They're looking good. They are absolutely swarming the farm right now. They might be able to actually pick this up, but a big reinforcement does happen. Looks like Ramon's going to be charging in from downtown, throws the nade, manages to land it, disrupting the flag cap, and now just charging in with evasion, with cold blood, with sappers, just trying to put out as much damage as he can. If you look right now, there's no presence whatsoever from the Horde side at Stables. Right now, apes, they're committing everything. They're committing everything to farm, and if they don't get it, I think this game is just going to be over. There's 200 resources left for Vinox's Finest. They've just hit 1,800 right now. Apes are just so far behind in terms of points. They need to get this base. Darvelin just auto-attacking. Look at this Paladin just trying to slow him down. He needs to stop Parla. No! He messed up. He didn't right-click the right person. And apes, they managed to actually pick it up. And now I feel like for Vinox's Finest, they need to realize the position they're in. They just need to say, okay, the Stables, Blacksmith, that's all that matters. Just defend these two as long as you possibly can. I will say that was a bit of a blunder to let them cap in that position, but these things do happen. Vinox's Finest still in a really, really reasonable position, but I think they really need to just focus on defense on these two nodes.
Yeah, I think for Vinox's Finest, for them, they know all they have to do, hold these two bases. Don't let apes forecap you. Right now, that's the only thing that matters. Just make sure that you don't. The worst thing you can do is actually split your team up in a 50-50. What you want to do is you want to have a majority of your team on Blacksmith. You want to have maybe a 5-man defense just standing there. And then you want to have a couple of people kind of rotating between the roads of Stables and Blacksmith. So you have a couple of members on Stables for immediate danger, a couple of members on Blacksmith for immediate danger. And then you have people who can float, and you have to count how many are apes sending. If they're sending 10 to Blacksmith, you have to match that. You have to make sure that you have your people defending there and enough resources, enough reinforcements from the guys at Stable to match that fight. All you have to do is match the fight. You don't need to outnumber them. That is how you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. You match the enemy teams or the attackers in terms of how many players they're sending. You're going to have that graveyard as well to rely on. You should be able to win that fight easily. Nims and Tubster in a 1v1. It's looking like Tubster's going to walk away with that one. And it's looking like Vinox's Finest are going to be walking away with this game. They're looking like EU's Finest.
Oh, I like what you did there. Vinox's Finest definitely looking really solid. I will say, they had some excellent plays in this match. They are just 70, 60 resources away from closing it out, and we would not have expected this. Apes definitely, I feel like they got to be annoyed with this one. More than likely going to be going back to the drawing board and try to figure out where this game did go wrong. And it looks like they're not even going to really try at this point. Maybe just not enough time. 30 resources away, and Vinox's Finest looking like they will be sort of the number one team going into the European finals, that championship round, in just a few short weekends from now. And I, for one, I don't know about you, Zico, but I, for one, am really looking forward to a potential rematch between these two teams.
Absolutely. And I mean, Vinox's Finest, man, can you believe it? They do it at the back of Ramon. He gets the ninja cap, and they just run away with the game. They hold farm and Stables the entirety of the match. I gotta say, so much things were just decided in the start. As soon as they got Blacksmith, that was like the most important thing. And when, of course, the 2v2s on the sidelines, the one that ultimately, with the Soul Stones and the Hunter Priest versus the Rogue Shadow Priest, that was freaking epic. And I think it was a big reason to why Vinox's Finest came out ahead here. what a redemption story. They lose to a technicality in the upper bracket, knocks them down to the lower bracket. They claw their way there. You know, in Noxus Finals, they have to beat all sorts of opponents down there, literally everybody. And then they make their way back up to the good graces of the grand finals, takes down Apes. And of course, congratulations to both of these teams, earning themselves a bye in the championships round in 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I mean, for this tournament, it really was, I mean, making that top 6. Then the next thing you could do is make the top 2 for that bye, like you mentioned. And then winning it is mostly just bragging rights. This does mean that these 6 teams, these 2 teams, will be moving forward to that championship round in Europe, where we can determine the winner. That's going to be the money round, and we can really determine who is the champion of Arathi Basin. These teams will have, a few weeks to figure out what went wrong, if anything went wrong for them, what went right, and they can really just fine-tune their strategies. And I'm really looking forward to some more Arathi Basin. I will say this was my favorite game of this entire tournament this weekend. Surprise, surprise, in the grand finals, but I just think it was really, really back and forth. And I mean, it's just a showcase of some really, really talented classic WoW players.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the finals definitely delivered on the hype. I think the lower bracket finals as well was extremely exciting. I think just in general, it's been a very exciting tournament. It's been a very exciting format. I think, at the start, we had a little bit of, there was some production issues, some sound issues, you know how it goes. This is the first time we do a Arathi Basin tournament. There's going to be some growing pains with, all sorts of things. But I really like that, as the show went on, we got a lot of great games, a lot of evenly matched teams started fighting each other. And it's been a lot of fun seeing, the different strategies, teams going for team fight comps, stealth and ninja comps, and just seeing how these, comps match up against each other. It's been great.
It's been an absolute pleasure casting these games with you, Zico. For everyone tuning in, just a few quick notes. First of all, big congratulations to Vinox's Finest, like you did say, Zico, as well as Apes for getting second place. You can tell I, for one, am looking forward to the rematch between these 2 teams. I know Apes is not going to be happy with second place with this one, so that rematch and kind of a redemption for Apes will be really, really interesting. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys did like this tournament, next weekend we have North America, and if you are a North American Classic player and you want to sign up for that tournament, the signups are still open until 10 a.m. Pacific on Thursday. So you have until 10 a.m. Pacific on Thursday to sign up if you're from North America and you would like to play in the tournament. As well, those games are going to be starting at the same time, Saturday, Sunday, next weekend, 10 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. CEST. So you can join us again for some Arathi Basin Classic action. The Classic Fall Conquest so far has been an absolute delight. Really looking forward to the North American qualifiers. And for everyone watching the show, thank you very much. And we're looking forward to see you next weekend.